Welcome back to the Basement Yard. What's going on, everyone? So as you can see, it's just me today recording, and I haven't recorded an episode in a very long time, so this might be a little weird, and it's not going to be like a very long episode because I kind of just wanted to use this episode to kind of update people on why I'm recording by myself, what happened, what's going to be happening moving forward with the show. So last week, Danny announced that he's not going to be recording the Basement Yard anymore. And I just want everyone to know that we're good, me and Danny. We talked on the phone for a very long time. I don't even know how long it was, but it felt like a very long time. And I think that we have like a very, good understanding of each other, because you guys have to understand, like, Danny is not just like some dude, who, because I haven't known Danny for that long. But he's one of my best friends. And we got very close, like, very fast. And originally, when I hired him, I had just met him maybe for just, like, a few months. And something happened as far as, my business and company goes. And I was like, I need to hire someone right now. And he was just there, hired him, worked out perfectly. And originally, I just needed him to edit stuff. But then once we started recording together, it was very easy. It was very obvious to me that the rapport that we have is amazing, and it's very good, and it's going to work, and it's hilarious. Like, I genuinely enjoyed doing the show. I think that, he's made me 10 times funnier than I was, because with Danny, it's like, dude, Danny's one of the most talented people I've ever met in my life. Like, that's just straight up. Like, I got nothing bad to say about him. But don't have corona. But he's a talented dude, and I knew that when I first met him. And when we would record the show, for a while, it felt like, I was like, damn, dude, this kid is just completely outshining me here. Because for a long time, it was just me who I was doing the YouTube videos. And then I would have like my friends come in or whatever, but they're not really performer. You know what I mean? Like, they don't do social media stuff. They're not in front of a camera. They don't, whatever. So they don't really understand how to translate their humor in that way. And then, here comes Danny, and he's on the show and we're recording it. And I feel like he is just funnier than I am. Like, he's just a funnier dude than I am. Like, that's just true. And I was like, fuck, man. So it kind of like forced me to get better, because I couldn't just get left behind and have everyone being like, oh, this guy sucks, but Danny's funny, which is what all my friends say to this day. And that's fine. But yeah, so I'm very appreciative of everything that Danny has done for me personally and for the show. And I know that, everyone really loves Danny and like cares about him, like, as I do, and I just don't want anyone to like overthink this and think that we hate each other, because we don't. We definitely don't hate each other. And everything's good, and like, obviously this is shitty and it's a big change, and so it's weird in that regard, but it's not the end of the world. Danny's gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. It just sounded like I was about to cry. When he fine. But everyone's gonna be fine, and like, I'm excited to see what he's gonna do, and I'm very proud of Danny, because you guys don't really know. I don't think anyone really knows Danny like I know Danny, and because, like I said, when we first met, or when we first started working together and we were doing the show, it just so happened that it would take us hours to edit shit, and like the way that we were going about work was just like not efficient. So sometimes we would be there until like 11 at night or whatever. And back before he became sober, we would be like drinking sometimes. And then when you drink with your boy and it's like nighttime, it's like, all right, we're going to start confessing shit. Even before we started working together, I remember we were sitting on a bench near his old apartment in the city and just like confessing shit to each other. And for whatever reason, we just kind of feel that way about each other, where it's like, you know, we know a lot about each other, and we confided in each other like very quickly. Because he's one of the most like compassionate and like sensitive dudes that I know. He's a good dude. And, you know, then, you know, the whole thing with he started having anxiety, panic attacks. And he's talked about that, you know, but he was having panic attacks, and we got even closer through that because I had dealt with panic attacks before. So I was trying to like, you know, talk him through that and like this and that, and just seeing what he was able to do with that, because I'm telling you, no one really knows the extent of, you know, what happened during that era. Like when I met Danny, and then the person who was going through this like anxiety, this very new thing where he was having panic attacks and like this, I don't really know, I don't want to label it anything, but I was like, he was just a different person, you know? And then during that, like that was sad to see. But then it was just like wild how quickly he was able to just take his life in his own hands and just completely turn it around and fix everything, you know? Like I mean, as you guys know, he's sober now for years, 2 years, I think. And he did that cold turkey. And I've never even, and I know it wasn't easy, but he made it look so easy. So like, you know, I'm very confident in that Danny will succeed in life, you know, because he has that in him. And the reason why I'm just telling these like random stories is just so you guys know like how we feel about each other, you know. He's a very important dude in my life. I think that, you know, I'm better because I met this guy, you know. It sounds like we're dating, but it's true. Like he's taught me a lot about things, and I've taught him a lot about stuff, and we've had very long talks that I haven't had sometimes with any other person. Like Danny will know stuff about me that maybe no one will ever know, just him. And I'm saying all this because I just want everyone to know that although the show is, you know, going to be different moving forward, like without Danny, me and Danny are good. And I just want that. I don't want there to be like conspiracies or, you know, anything of the sort. And he knows that too, you know, like this isn't something that I'm saying and he's going to hear it and go, wow, I didn't know. Like he knows, you know, and especially because when we had a long talk on the phone last week, and you know, it all came out, and we know we have a good understanding, and yeah, I'm just, you know, fully supportive of him and whatever he does in the future. Like I'm a fan of his, obviously. Like I'm his biggest fan, bro. I've seen Danny come into this fucking place and he'll like the middle of the day while editing, we'll just like put on a beat and freestyle for like an hour. Or one time I was like, yo, I'm going to order lunch. Do you want anything? And I ordered lunch or like dinner or something. We might have been like working late or some shit, but I ordered dinner, and when I hit the button to like order the dinner, he started just like recording some like song, just like fucking around. And when the food got there, I was like, yo, food's here. He's like, yeah, I'm just like finishing this thing up. And then I was like, all right, because that's what, I mean, Danny does that. He just fucking like goes in there and he just like fucks around, you know, recording shit or doing whatever. And then he comes out like 10 minutes later and he goes, oh yeah, I just did this song. And I went in there and I listened to the song, and it was like, I'm like, yo, this is fucking amazing. Like this is a great, like this is awesome. And he would know what song I'm talking about too. I forget the name of it, and I'm not gonna say because if he ever like, I don't know. But my point is, like, you can expect a lot from Danny in the future. I think. I think that he is, a talented dude, and I've told him since the day I met him, like, I'm not half as talented as you are. Like, you are just like naturally, like, he's just like naturally gifted at shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, dude, I love Danny, and like I said, I'm happy for every episode we did together, and it's been fucking hilarious. And the show was amazing, and I'm just grateful for that. And and he's not. We live in the same neighborhood. He might move to like a different borough, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna see Danny, and it's not gonna be weird. It's not gonna be whatever. Like, we remain in contact. It's just that the show's gonna be different moving forward, and I understand how that may be like confusing, and it's not really. I really don't care to disclose intimate details of the reasons why this is happening. And I know some people feel like they may be entitled to that, but I don't. I don't feel like you're entitled to that. Because some things are just more important than others. And I feel like the reason why this is all happening is very important. And I feel like everything's going to work out just fine. And I'm not worried about, anything. I don't think anyone's getting left out to dry. I don't think there's been any sort of, whatever. I just feel like some things are more important than others. You know what I'm saying? And, I care about Danny as a person more than I care about him as a co-host, even though I do care about him as a co-host like a lot. But like I'm saying, like, as a person, I obviously want Danny to be fully like good, you know what I mean, his future, everything. It would kill me to see him like in a bad situation. You know what I mean? Like, I would never wish that upon him. And that's why I keep like hammering this point home of like, we're good. Definitely like, I haven't really planned what I was going to say during this whole thing. So it's like, that's why it's like really hard for me. I may be repeating myself and I may be like reaching for these things, but it's just hard to explain. It's hard to kind of get my point across. But the main thing is that, like I said, moving forward, Danny's not going to be on the show. We're still in contact. We're still friends. There's not some big giant fight. There isn't, whatever. It's just, it is what it is, like, I'm sorry, but you're never going to get a definitive, absolute intimate details of a reason, and it's just because it's none of your business. But it's not something drastic, like, it's not, he's good, he's healthy, mad healthy, he's losing weight by the second, like, I'm good. There wasn't like a whatever physical, I mean, he's in Florida, there's no physical altercation or anything like that. Like, it was, whatever. I'd have a black eye right now. But yeah, so that's what's happening. But yeah, I just wanted to use this episode to kind of talk about it, because I know there were some people who were kind of upset, like, yo, when are you going to say something? Like, how could you just like blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't that I was, that I didn't want to say anything or like whatever. I was just waiting for this opportunity because I feel like this was the best platform to say it on. And not only that, but like, as much as it is sad for everyone else who's watching, it was also sad. I mean, I'm on the show with the kid, so it is sad and it's weird and it's a change. and that has an effect on you, you know? So I just kind of took some time also to myself to just kind of toss that around a bit and see how it makes you feel and see how, whatever. But like I said, that's what it is. You'll see, like, I'm not just going to say it, but you'll see me. I'm going to be fully supportive of anything, Danny does. Like, once he starts dropping, like, music and shit, like, I'm going to be bumping that shit, posting it, like, Danny's like a brother to me. Like, he really is. He's like a brother to me. And he means a lot to me. And, like I said, anything he does, and it's going to be fucking cool shit. I mean, we've seen Daddy come in here. Naturally, he's just good, like, whatever. So whatever he does, I'm fully confident in him. And I already told him, like, if you ever need my help or you want me to, whatever, you want to toss some ideas around or whatever, or some advice, anything, like, I'm here, like, whatever you want. And I think he knows that. And he's said the same thing to me, and all the things that I've just said, have been reciprocated. It's not just me being like saying all these things and he's just not, like, he's, we're just I haven't really said anything, but, like, you know what I mean. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. Another thing that I wanted to say is that this Instagram account, it's like TBY questions, right? On Instagram. They made a video. I don't know who's running the account, but it was two parts, and it was like to Danny, and a bunch of fans of the show sent in a video of them basically saying, like, just being very supportive and being very nice and saying, great things to Danny and, like, how much he means to them, and, like, what he's done for them and what the show's done for them. And, and I just wanted to say, like, to everyone who was in that video, I mean, obviously they're going to be watching this, but everyone who was in that video, I thought it was fucking really cool. I thought it was amazing. It was extremely emotional. And Danny texted me when he saw it. He's like, "Did you see this shit?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did." It's rough. But I just wanted to say, like, that video also put in perspective of me of, like, what this show kind of does for people, because I am sort of disconnected in a way of, I live in New York. I don't live in LA around all these people and this sort of lifestyle where everyone's vlogging and everyone has run-ins with, all their fans and this and that. Like, the fans of this show are kind of spread out throughout the country and other countries, and there are some, like, run-ins and this and that, but that video just kind of put it in perspective and just sort of, like, changed things for me in a way, because I never really understood how someone can get super attached to me and Dan, like, our show. Like, we've had conversations in the past of being like, it's so crazy that people feel this way, or that we'll get messages sometimes of, but it's one thing to read it. You're sort of desensitized to it at a certain point, because when you do what we do, people send you nice messages all the time, and a part of you tries to not take it to heart and to, like, blow your head up and just constantly be thankful for all, like, the compliments. Like, sometimes, like, I at least for me, I'm not going to speak for Danny or anyone else in the world, but I feel like sometimes you take it for granted. You take it for granted that someone is going out of their way to compliment you, and they're telling you something real, and they're telling you, like, I went through a hard time, and this show really helped me, and it really made me feel like I wasn't alone, or just kind of distracted me, and it was sort of my escape and my outlet. And it's like, you hear that so much that eventually you become desensitized to it, especially when you're reading it, right? But when I saw that video, it's different because, like, I saw your faces and the emotion in your voice and the emotion, in your face. and just hearing the nice things that you were saying about the show and about Danny and about like, you know, our rapport and the back and forth, like it really like meant a lot to me. And I don't mean to get all like, you know, sentimental or whatever, but you know, like I said, this isn't going to be like the other episodes where we talk about this and that. And this won't be the show moving forward, by the way. Like I'll get to what the show is going to look like, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to take this time also to just really thank everyone who's, you know, ever said something nice to me or Danny and who's been supporting the show, our patrons who have been, you know, supporting not only emotionally, but like financially as well every single month. It really means a lot. And like I said, seeing that video and being able to see your faces and the emotion and hearing, you know, the nice things. Like it's one thing to read it because you get a lot of tweets and DMs and comments of people saying really nice stuff. And the reality is, like I said, I mean, it's a sad reality, but you just become desensitized to it. And you feel like not as disrespectful as it's about to sound, but it's like, here's another comment of someone saying something nice. You know, so it's like it doesn't hit as hard. And that's horrible. You know, that's terrible of me to say. But that's like the reality of it, you know? And I think a part of me does that because you don't want to constantly read compliments and be like super affected by it because it might change who you are. Like you might think that you'll become less humble. Maybe. That may just be a stupid thing that I'm thinking. But I feel like that's the reason why sometimes people become desensitized to it, of just seeing it over and over again and reading it over and over again. It's just like, it's crazy, you know? But I just want to say, like, I do appreciate all of you. And even when I say I'm, you know, desensitized to these types of messages and these types of comments, it's not all the time. Because some people have messaged me some very long things, and I'll reach back out to them and be like, yo, this just like meant a lot to me. Like, thank you for like reaching out and like writing that, taking the time to like tell me all that, you know? And, but it's just, yeah, I'm just very thankful for everyone who's been supporting me, man. I've been doing this a very long time, and, you know, I've done a bunch of different shit, and I've done, you know, whatever. So it really means a lot that I'm still able to be doing this, because I don't know what I would be doing if I can't, you know, kind of do this sort of thing. You know, it's been my life for the last basically 10 years, you know, or 9 years, whatever the fuck. And not a lot of people get to do it for that long, you know? A lot of people do it for, you know, whatever it is, 4 years, 5 years, and then they kind of like fade out, or they get a job at a, you know, this and that, and it's just not the same. But it's been pretty steady for me, and I've been really privileged, and I'm just extremely thankful that people are still supporting me, and, you know, dating back to a very long time ago where I feel like the content's not even the same. You know, it kind of changed over the course of 9 or 10 years. And there's just been like, you know, eras, different types of eras. And, you know, the one that is seemingly coming to an end was the Danny era. And what a fucking era it was, I'll say. But yeah. So, like I said, I'm very thankful for all of you, and I'm extremely thankful for Danny and everything he's done for me and for the show. And, you know, just I ask that everyone just be fully supportive of him as well, to your benefit. I mean, like I said, he's a talented guy, and you're going to enjoy the shit he puts out. I mean, before I even knew who the fuck Danny was, I loved his shit. You know, like, he's fucking funny. And yeah, so don't worry about either of us. We're going to be good. He's a strong dude. I'm a strong dude. I mean, you know, we're going to move forward with the show. And this is going to be extremely awkward, and I'll probably get in trouble for saying that, but I have to do the ads for this show because, you know, contracts and whatnot. But after these, we'll get into what the show is going to look like moving forward. And, yeah, we'll kind of wrap it up in that way. So, let's get to these ads. Yeah, so first we have a advertisement here from Cuts Clothing. Okay, Cuts Clothing is this fashion company where they make like the perfect t-shirt, they say. Okay, you could shop by your cut, choose your collar, crew, v-neck, or Henley. You can get an elongated shirt, a split hem, or the classic curve hem. Okay, which I have a bunch of shirts from Cuts, and they're good. They make you kind of look jacked in a way. Like they're tight in the areas that you want them to be and loose in the others. You know what I mean? That's what these like cuts and curves and all whatever we're talking about here are. They have a great mix of long sleeve, short sleeve, collars, cuts, and colors to be ready for any sort of situation. The idea behind these shirts is that you can wear it in a very casual setting, but also a very formal setting. So it's like you could wear it to work, but you also could wear it just hanging out with your boys. So it's nice. They say it's the only shirt worth wearing. Okay, once you wear a cut shirt, it's impossible to choose regular t-shirts ever again. They are very nice quality. You should check them out. But yeah, loved by your favorite athletes, entrepreneurs, and even podcast hosts. Hello, that's me. Get 15% off your first order by going to cutsclothing.com/yard. That is cutsclothing.com/yard for 15% off the only shirt worth wearing. All right, that's high praise, and trust me, the shirt is fucking very nice. So go check them out. Cuts Clothing, CUTS clothing.com/yard. Go check them out. Next, we have Features, which are socks. Okay, they help you achieve your best day every day, and now on the golf course too. Targeted compression hugs the arch of your foot, keeping the sock in place and preventing it from bunching, slipping, or sliding down into your shoe. Which, if I had to rank the most annoying things in the world, that's probably number 4, where you're wearing a sock and it's so old, or it's so like whatever the word is, that it just slides into your shoe slowly. Absolutely hate that. But lifetime guarantee. Okay, Features, they're so durable and long-lasting that if you're unsatisfied at any point, they'll give you a replacement pair. No questions asked. That's nice, okay? The Features is a proudly family-owned business, founded in 2002. It's very nice. But the socks are great, and they have different types of sizes. Okay, you got that no-show. You got the, like, little, I don't know what the other thing's called. It's probably in here, but I'm not even going to look for it. But you know what I'm talking about. A little higher than that, the one with, like, the lip out the back. It's very nice. All right, it's an athletic sock. But I love the socks that hug your foot. Nothing better. Loose socks, it's gross. You can get $10 off your first pair of Features when you use the code BASEMENT at features.com, spelled F-E-E-T, like feet, U-R-E-S, Feetures.com. Promo code is BASEMENT for $10 off your first pair of Features. Okay, so go get some new socks and stay tight on that foot. All right? All right. Now, the show moving forward. Right? So this episode I'm doing by myself, but this is not going to be the show. By the way, full disclosure, this is like the 8th time I've recorded this, because I didn't want to say the wrong thing, especially in the beginning. I kind of wanted it, I just kept fucking it up. And like I said, I haven't done an episode by myself in so long, and it's not the easiest thing in the world, especially when you're talking about something like fucking sort of serious here, and kind of explaining a situation and using the right vernacular, so nothing gets sort of like, wait, what the fuck did he say? But yeah, so moving forward, my buddy Frankie is going to do the show with me. You guys know him from the slam poetry videos on Santiago Studio. He is a funny dude. I've known him since pre-K, I believe, or maybe even before that. But we've been friends for a very long time, and he just seems like a person that kind of gets how the podcast should go. And like the fact that it's like a show, because for a long time, especially when I first started doing the podcast, I would just have like random friends on all the time. But it's if you don't do a podcast, like when you do a podcast, it's not just like we're just chilling, having beers and doing whatever. Because I've done that. I've made that mistake as well. Like there's been times in the past I've had like 4 of my friends on, 3 of them or 3 more of them are in the hallway, just like being loud and doing whatever. One of my friends one time, I don't remember which episode it was, but it was like in the very beginning. Drank a whole like a bottle this big of Jameson throughout the episode. And he started in the beginning, like you could hear him talking, and then you didn't hear him, and he was like this far away from the mic, and he was just going, yo, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you could just hear him in the background. So like I've experimented with all these things, and I think, you know, having a person who's going to show up and sit in the chair with you is probably the best thing for that, because you can kind of build a rapport and you can, you know, you start to get it. But to just have like a cast of characters kind of sitting in and out all the time is like it's rough, especially when they don't do podcasts. So I was like, you know what, let me just have Frankie do it. He also was doing Stank with Danny, so you know, we all got along. Frank's been on the show a bunch of times. Like I'm pretty sure everyone who's listening and watching knows who Frank is. But yeah, so he's going to be doing the show with me moving forward. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it's unfortunate that, you know, Danny is not going to be on the show anymore. That sucks for sure. But I'm excited about, you know, moving forward for everyone. You know, I'm excited to see, you know, what direction the show kind of goes in and what is going to happen. I mean, for the most part, you know, I think the show is going to remain sort of the same as far as the content goes. Like, we're not going to get on here now and start talking about fucking, you know, serious shit or, you know, whatever. There's been times where me, Frankie, and Danny have hung out for hours, and it's just, you know, just ridiculous. I'm just thinking about the crazy. There was one time that me, Frankie, and Danny were hanging out in my old apartment. I believe Danny was drinking at the time, and we got drunk in my apartment because it had snowed, and I had a karaoke machine that would add layers to your voice or whatever. And we just were doing stand-up bits. She's like, how's everyone doing tonight? And then it would be me and Danny on the couch like, woo, good. And then everyone would go up and do a set. And then, you know, it ended with Danny singing like gospel music or whatever. But yeah, so the show's not going to change as far as like, you know, the content or the feel or, you know, whatever. It's going to be, you know, ridiculous. It's going to be, you know, whatever. We're going to do our best to entertain you every single week like we have been. And yeah, but I'm excited to see, you know, kind of what happens moving forward. I mean, you know, you could look at it and just kind of dwell on the fact that things are going to be different and things are, you know, seemingly like it's like a very oh no sort of moment. And I'm not really one to sort of dwell on that, especially because there is no reason to do that. You know, like I know that Danny is going to, I mean, for lack of a better term, just fucking turn up. Like, I think that he really is. Like, I really do believe that he's going to, you know, find his way, and it's going to be fucking awesome. And, like, I'm excited for that because, like I said, I'm a big fan of Danny's. And, you know, once Danny gets his shot to be, like a crazy viral moment or, like, whatever, or I don't even know how to explain it, but the world's going to love Danny. And I think that's going to happen. And I'm excited for that, dude. Like, I have no desire to see him fail or to see him do good, but not as good as me. Like, I'm not one of those dudes either. Like, I just want to see what he comes up with. Like, I genuinely love it. And everyone I know fucking loves it. Like, he's just fucking talented, dude. Like, he sent me a video joking around singing fake Italian opera, and it was fire. Like, I was like, this sounds like fucking Andrea Bocelli. It sounds like a guy singing this in the hills of Tuscany. Like, you know. So, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the future. And listen, I don't want anyone, like, if you're going to be a person who's going to be like, Danny's not on the show anymore, so I'm not going to watch it. Like, all right, I understand. All I'm asking though for everyone is, the chance to, give it a try. Not give it a try, but like, bro, the show is not going to change like that much. And listen, if it does, it's really not your cup of tea, then you should leave. Like, you should, because that's what we are here. We are in entertainment. And if you're not entertained, like, I'm not going to sit here and cry. I'm just going to figure out ways to try and entertain, like I understand that. And I know it's a different, thing that, one of the hosts of the show is leaving. But I am confident in that me and Frankie can do a very good job at delivering a great podcast, and I would never compare them two in any sort of way. I think they're both great in their own right. And, this isn't about like who's better than who or anything like that. It's really just, we come in here and we're going to try to put on a good show for you guys. And, hopefully we continue to hear from you and see you. And that's another thing, going back to what I was saying before about the video that I saw that you guys put together for Danny. I would like to see more of that. Like I when I saw that, I was like, seeing seeing people's faces and getting to know them is important to me, because that's something that you get from Twitch. I'm pointing because I have my Twitch set up like in a closet over there. And when I'm streaming, I do like a subscribers only chat. So it kind of limits the amount of people that can type in there. You have to be a subscriber. And now when I go on and I stream, there's people in the chat that I not that I know them and I don't know what they look like or anything, but I talk to them whenever I go on there. So it's like we have a sort of rapport, and I would really like that with the Basement Yard listeners. Because it kind of, it's a very detached thing for me in a way, because we come in here, we record, and I'm talking to someone, and then it gets uploaded, and then we're already working on the next episode. There's not really a lot of time for me to go back and sort of talk to people or this and that. So I want to figure out a way for this to be a little more interactive, whether it be people sending in videos and editing that into an episode, or, questions or something. Like, I would like for the viewers to be a part of it in some way, because I really did enjoy hearing and seeing everyone and being like, and just like how different they all looked too, like someone's got a Southern accent and you're like, and just kind of looks like a Southern white dude. And then there's someone completely different. It's like a fucking, like an Indian person from the UK. And you're like, this is just, it's like, it's cool to see. And like, that may sound crazy, but it's like, I don't know. I try not to think about it because it would drive me crazy to realize what's going on here and realize like how many people are actually listening and how many people actually care. I don't really know how many people actually care about me talking this long about this shit, because it's really not what this show is. But I think it's necessary, and I think I at least owed it to you guys to say my piece and sort of explain what's going to be happening moving forward. So I apologize if this isn't the most entertaining episode of the Basement Yard, but I can promise you that, the next episode that comes out is not going to be something serious. It's going to be what the show is. We're going to get right back into the swing of things as best as we can. And, that's that. But I just wanted to take this time to kind of talk to everyone and let them know what the hell's going on here. But thank you so much to everyone for your continued support of the show and for me. And I know Danny really appreciates you and he loves you guys, and, just keeping in touch with everyone. Like I said, very thankful for you guys, extremely thankful for Danny and everything he's done for me personally, and, with this show and with this company. And, yeah, it's been cool. And we'll see what happens. Nothing's set in stone. Nothing's written in the fucking. I was gonna say nothing's written in the sand. I don't even know. Is that it's like a half. I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know what I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is nothing is definite. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is whatever. Who knows what's gonna happen in a year? Who knows? Whatever. Anything could happen. Who was gonna foresee this even 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago? I didn't know what the hell was gonna happen here. So it's like you never know what's gonna happen. So don't take this as this very big, dark cloud over things, just see it as a change. And when change happens, then, good things can come of that as well. And I'm confident in that, everyone's going to be fine. Everything's going to work out. And, I think you're going to be seeing a lot of us. I think you're going to be seeing like a lot of, the Basement Yard and Danny and obviously, I want everyone who watches this show to support him. I want, if you're not following him on Instagram, it's at Danny Lopriori. But yeah, I'm excited for everyone. It's kind of as much as it sucks, and there was that point of just sort of dwelling on everything. Now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, and now, what do? Like you dwell, and then people kind of figure out where they're going and just find their way. So that's the next step in all this. And obviously there's no definitive plan. It's kind of like, let's just fucking go try some shit out. So that's what we're going to do. We're just trying shit out and we'll see, I think I'm going to start streaming more as well on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Joe Santagato. And, I hope to see some of you guys there because there it's just like a little more organized and easier to kind of keep in touch with the people like in the chat while I'm streaming and talking and whatnot. So hopefully, we can do that. And that's pretty much how long are we going here? 42 minutes. It's actually longer than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I didn't want to drag this out or like make the first half serious and the second half I'm like, you ever take a shit? Like I wasn't going to do that either. But yeah, we'll be back next week with the regular shit, but I wanted to just kind of put it out there. And again, I know I've repeated myself 1,000 times in this episode, but I'm talking to myself for 42 minutes. You have to understand like what kind of psychosis that like entails. But bottom line, I fully support Danny. Anything that he does, he's a very talented dude, more talented than I'll ever be, and I'm excited to see what he comes up with. And yeah, I'm his biggest fan, and I can't wait for that shit. And I want everyone who watches the show to support him, and I want everyone who watches the show to stick around and support this show as well. Yeah, man, I'm excited, and I'm excited to see, how me and Frankie are going to do on the show as well, because, with Frankie, like I said, I've known him a long time, so I know that he's, excited to get started recording as well, and it's just, it's all good. I just wanted to let everyone know it's all good. I know it's like sad, or I know it's like a change or whatever, and maybe this is over the top and too dramatic for whatever. I know some people out there are like, oh my God, we get it. But, these are, great people in my life, and they mean a lot to me. So, talking for 43 minutes is the least that I could do. But yeah, that is all for this week's episode. We'll see you guys next week, back with the regular shit. All right? Take it easy.